Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinson's. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you'll consider subscribing. Everybody else, thank you for coming back to watch this episode of Retiring with Parkinson's. 3 things to think about. This episode is an extension of a video I did long ago near the beginning of the channel called Transitioning to Disability Benefits. I'll have a link somewhere up here near the end of the video that can take you over to that one when you're done here and you can check it out. I listened to it last night and boy, things have changed over time. So if you want to see me at the beginning, that's a good video to check out. Okay, we have a lot to unpack in this video and I'm really excited about it. So let's get right to it. Fred Rogers once said, "Often when you think you're at the end of something, you're actually at the beginning of something else." And I believe there's a lot of wisdom in those words when I think about getting diagnosed with a chronic illness such as Parkinson's. Because your whole life you've been living one way. You've been on track this one direction without a major chronic illness impacting your life. And all of a sudden, wham! I mean, you just hit that wall hard. And it's like a sucker punch to the gut. It's like a baseball bat to the back of the head. It's like life coming in and just swinging away at you, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's like, it is, I hate to say it, but it is what it is. But Mr. Rogers, and I loved his television show, is right. Because when you're at the end of something, you're actually at the beginning of something else. So then it's like, well, Dave, what do I do now? What do I think about? Because this new beginning is really, really hard. And I'm right there with you. It's devastating. It's devastating. And this is my first point. You've got to take an inventory of yourself. You've got to take an inventory of your strengths and your weaknesses. Like a real one. Not one that I did, because I was just like, I think I'm good with sales. I'm just going to go sell used cars. And I'm not saying to start a full-time job, but a lot of people diagnosed in their 30s and 40s don't have the resources or the savings that they might have when they're in their 60s. So a lot of us diagnosed as YOPDs are going to need to earn some extra cash on the side. And thankfully, with Canada Disability Benefits, you can make a little bit of money on the side, which I'm very grateful for. But what are you going to do? And that's what you really need to think about. If you can afford not to make any extra money at all, then I applaud you. I'm very happy for you. A lot of people might have to do that. So once the dust all settles and the clouds part and the sun shines down on you again and you can think clearly, then you'll be able to figure out what you need to do. If only I could go back and tell past Dave, hey, everything's going to be okay. You can relax. Everything's going to work out like it always has. Every problem you've come across, you guys have always found a solution. Like Haley and I have always found a way around it or through it or under it. Everything is going to work out. Okay, next part of the video. Jean Perret once said, retirement. So that's when you come home from work one day and say, honey, I'm home forever and ever. Okay, this is a funny one because when Haley and I got married, we bought a 1-bedroom apartment and it was tiny. It was like 596 square feet. I just remember that number because it's like, wow, how much did this cost? And I don't want to tell you what they're selling for now or what we bought it for because it's just an insane increase in price. Jean Perret makes a really good point here because when we got Haley and I got married, we were like, wouldn't it be nice to spend every day together? And so we always talked about that as our marriage went on. Wouldn't it be nice to spend every day together? And, that's a good thought. And I wish we could have. But I don't think that we actually understood what we were talking about or asking for. Because when you throw 2 chronic illnesses in there and you're trying to spend time together, it's like we call Parkinson's and endometriosis our best friends. So we'll often say in code language, My best friend is getting in the way today. I need to go lay down. What we dreamed about is really different than the reality that has come to be. It's just kind of funny because it's like, well, sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for, because you might actually get it, and it might be a heck of a lot different than you expected. So this brings me to my next point, is when I was going through the diagnosis process and deciding if we were going to retire or not. Okay, well, we didn't have any choice. We had to retire. The social workers, the neurologists, the nurses, everyone I was talking to was like, okay, you need to get on top of your financial planning, because you need to start planning now for retirement. And I looked at each other and we're like, plan with what? I mean, we're in our early 40s. All of a sudden we have 3 chronic illnesses because our daughter Felicia had type 1 diabetes at the time. So there's 3 chronic illnesses that had, a certain amount of medication to buy every month. Housing and everything else on top of it. We're like, financial planning with what? Our $5 that we've got saved up in the drawer for date night? So we can each buy like a milkshake at McDonald's, like the small ones? It was just like, what? What are you talking about? Financial plan with what? Obviously, we did find some solutions, and here we are in the sunny Okanagan. But what I want to say here is that, when you're hit with that diagnosis and it's pushing you towards retirement, you just don't know what's going to happen, right? Something actually might go right. Something actually could go your way. I mean, what if all things go right and you find a good solution? Not everything has an unhappy ending. And the point I want to make here is that there was a lot of anxiety and worry along the way, especially through this step, but it worked out. So that's something I need to work on, is like, well, what if things go right? What if we do find a solution? I found over the years that 90% of the things I worried about never happened. I love these words from Abe Lemons. The problem with retirement is that you never get a day off. Okay, this is a big one for me. Okay, who else has too much time to think about the past and mull over past situations or decisions that we made or opportunities that we passed up? We turned left when we should have gone right. Okay, I can find 100 things. Why is it that I only think about those things in all my spare time? Why don't I think about the good things, the good decisions that I made? I really need to start making time to think about those ones a little bit more. I suspect, of course I don't know what Abe Lemons was thinking about, but I suspect that he was talking about, like, when you're retired, generally you're on a fixed income. Every day is the same, there's no more holidays, right? Every day is a holiday. But with that fixed income, there's not a lot you can do, right? It's not like you can jump on a plane and go take a vacation, because you're already on vacation. And when you're on a fixed income, living just barely around the poverty line, going out means spending money that you probably don't have. Never having that day off from retirement and never having that day off from Parkinson's can really add up over time. So when I think about this problem, we are all dealt a different set of cards in life, and we have to play those cards the best way that we can. I mean, I look at my life and I'm like, okay, I wasn't dealt a very good hand, especially considering I got Parkinson's at age 43, but I've had to play the cards that I have the best way that I can. And that's what I'm trying to do every day. And that's what I encourage you to do as well. We can't cry over our cards. It won't help. It won't help. It won't change anything. We can't go, woe is me, all to everybody we talk to, because it won't help. If you're complaining all the time, people won't want to help you. We have to play these cards the best way that we can. I firmly believe that. I firmly believe, and in my opinion, we have to play these cards well, because this is what we have. This is where we are. Sorry, I'm just delivering you the bad news. Don't shoot the messenger. And the third point I want to make here is that home modifications are probably coming. Those of you who have had Parkinson's for anywhere from 5 to 10 years may have started to notice that, hey, I'm not as mobile as I used to be. Getting out of the bathtub is getting harder. Getting up in the middle of the night and going pee is harder. And why do I have to pee so much at night? I rarely go to the bathroom during the day. Why can't my body pee during the day? Why does it like nighttime better? I don't know. But I'm saying that, I'm starting to have trouble sometimes getting in and out of my bathtub. And so we're looking at a home modification to the shower, and thankfully there's a fund that we can apply for that. Our symptoms will progress, and we will need modifications at home eventually. Okay, coming up here should be that link to transitioning to disability benefits. When you're done here, jump over there and I will see you there. Thank you for liking, subscribing, watching, and sharing this channel with your family and friends. Please leave a comment or a question below. Thank you for continuing to take this journey together. I will see you on the next one. Have a good day. Goodbye.